Okay, before we even get started into this whole conversation about religion, I need to address the rumor that I am not a religious person simply because God has a restraining order against me. I mean, yeah, that's true. It's true. God has really good lawyers, which shocked the shit out of me because who would have ever thought that any lawyers ended up with him and not, their lawyers? Now, I'm not a religious person simply because I believe in the scientific theory of how we all came to be, of why we are here, how we got here, how everything fell into place. I have nothing against anybody, any religion's God, their deity, what they believe their creator, whoever that may be. I've got no issue with it. It's just not for me. I believe that science has pretty much laid out pretty good groundwork of how we all got to be here. Sure, there's a few blanks, but there's a few blanks in any theory, religious or otherwise, of how it all came to be. But for the most part, I like the scientific theory. So I have nothing against deities. I just personally don't believe any deity was involved in creating my big fat bald ass. I think my big fat bald ass got here just through a series of monumentally odds-beating occurrences that allowed us to all exist. And I know that the next conclusion you would draw from that is, I believe there isn't a divine creator because he wouldn't have fucked up and made something like this. And, all right, there's a little something to that. Sure. However, being an atheist also points out to me how I just can't even seem to get along with people who are like-minded as myself. And the reason I say this is because, and again, it's not blanket, it's not all atheists, but so many atheists I know personally and that I see online, that I read articles, what have you, so many atheists have an arrogance about them. And they're so dismissive of people who have a belief in God. And the whole attitude for me is just like, oh, you believe in a divine being, you don't believe in the dinosaurs, and you're so stupid, and I'm so smart. No, I don't believe that at all. We all got to find our way. There is no concrete proof. There was nobody taking video of the creation of this universe, of this planet. So we all have our own beliefs. If somebody believes something different and they want to believe in a divine being, I'm cool with that. So I can't even join in on the atheist, hey, let's all get together and make fun of the believers party, because I really don't. I don't want to make fun of anybody. If that's your belief, good for you. And as a matter of fact, the people most important to me in my life, the people I love the most, my wife, Spaz, kid, most of my relatives, most everybody has religious beliefs. So there's no way that I would cast dispersions at them. I was going to say cast stones, but when you say cast stones, that gets too biblical. So dispersions, we'll go with that. The one issue I do have, though, is I don't want my politicians making any of their professional decisions based on what they believe God wants. I don't want them legislating via God. I get a little uneasy anytime any politician references God in relation to doing his job, whether it's making laws or whatever decisions he may be making that we elected him or her to make on our behalf. Leave God out of it. I mean, though I would make an exception in this, as long as at some point on the campaign trail, I actually saw this politician with the physical embodiment of God. If God's standing next to him or her and whispering in his or her ear what he believes, okay, then I can say, okay, God is one of your closest advisors, and that's part of the package that I'm voting for. As long as I can't see God having the conversation with you, I don't want you to legislate that way, because I just fear I don't know exactly how you're going about communicating with God, but I fear that the lines of communication, I mean, I don't know, could your Wi-Fi connection to him be a little weak and you didn't get everything he said? Just why don't you leave him out of it and base all your decisions on the facts. Go out there and really work it. If you've got an important decision to make, find all the facts at hand, talk to your constituents, see what they're thinking and feeling, and then come to an intelligent conclusion and, let God go do whatever. I'm sure he's busy. He's got shit to do. Leave him alone. And then within this whole conversation about God, we have the agnostics. And the agnostics, they make me laugh a little, because agnostics are like the ultimate in hedging their bets. Because an agnostic is somebody who, well, basically they aren't saying that God doesn't exist, but they don't really want to be associated with organized religion. They're hedging their bets. Okay, it's kind of like Pascal's wager. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but basically this Pascal, he was a 17th century French philosopher or something. Basically, he said the easiest thing to do is believe in God, or state that you believe in God, because the ramifications of not believing in God are far worse than if you say that you don't believe in God. So basically he's saying, be religious so you don't get your ass thrown to hell. Now, my whole problem with that, and it's a surprising number of people, and you can see it online in conversation about this, and they will say basically that, well, yes, I have a belief in God because what's it hurt? I mean, if I believe in God, at least if he does exist, he's going to be good to me at the next level. Whereas if I don't believe him and he's there, I'm fucked. Well, the whole problem with that is Pascal and people like that, they apparently think that God is pretty easily fooled. Because if they think that God can't see through your little charade here, I put the little, he's French, so I said charade instead of charade. No, you guys, you don't appreciate my subtleties and my humor. But I think that if God was able to create the moon and the stars and the earth and all of us and the butterflies and the hummingbirds and even the fine young women of Pornhub, he created all of that. I think he can probably see through your little ruse of saying, well, I don't really believe in you 100%, but I'm going to say I do because then you got to let me in. I get in. I get into heaven. Don't be sending me to hell. I said I believe you. I think he'll see through that. So, yeah, Pascal, you're French. You're from the 17th century. Be gone. Okay, but let's get right down to the meat of what this video is about and what I want to ask you guys' opinion on. Because religion represents the real extremes of the world. For some people, religion gives them such great peace, and it gives them joy in their life, and it makes them better people. I mean, it makes them calmer, nicer, more caring people who reach out to help others. In other instances, religion is the source or the impetus for all types of violence. And again, as soon as you say this, immediately people, because of the current situation in the world, point right at the Muslims. And it's true. I mean, there is a sector of Muslim society that wants to kill other people because apparently they're not doing the right things within their own religion, even other Muslims. Throughout history, many of the most heinous occurrences on this planet, billions of deaths on this planet can be directly attributed to religion and the differences therein. So my question is, does religion do more good than bad? In other words, would society as a whole, and this is what I really want to hear from you guys, I want you to tell me in the comment section, would our world be a better place without religion? Or is it better because religion exists? Don't jump to any conclusions. There's a lot to be thought of when you consider everything, all the evidence in making the case either way. You see, because the problem is the evil that's done in the name of religion is always going to seem to greatly outweigh the good that's done in the name of religion. It's for a number of reasons, but most notably, a lot of the good that comes from religious beliefs and a lot of the good that people do because of their religious beliefs are things that never happen because of their religious beliefs. In other words, how many people have been pushed near to that breaking point where, whatever, they got fired from their job, that they disagree with a specific group of people, or they've just been pushed to the edge and they want to take a violent action against them, but they don't because they don't want to disappoint God, or they don't want to have to face God. And probably that goes on a lot more in an individual day-to-day basis than it does with any religion as a group. I mean, individuals who have a strong faith, they won't do something that maybe would feel good at the time to hurt someone else because their religious belief holds them back from doing it. And look at all the organizations that are religious-based that do so many great things for so many people throughout the world. And The people that support these groups do it because of that feeling they have for God and to do right because that's what God wants. All the headlines are going to be, and again, Muslims take the brunt of this evil side of religion because, let's face it, in current society, the Muslims as a group have how do I want to put this? They have the biggest violent group on behalf of their religion. Whether, that's ISIS, that's Al-Qaeda, whoever it may be, but on behalf of their religion, they're taking violent actions. Now, granted, a lot of times it's against people of their own religion, but apparently they don't feel that they're doing things properly for whatever reason that we don't want to get into. But throughout history, religion has been responsible for millions and millions and millions of deaths because one person has this religion, this person has the other religion, you got to go. So what is it? Where's the tipping point? We don't know how violent society would be without religion because it's never been without religion. That's the conundrum. Conundrum, that's a pretty good word. And it would be remiss not to point out the fact that, and this goes on a lot in America, that certain people, their religious beliefs prompt them to deny certain rights to others. These fervent religious beliefs make them believe that, okay, gay people shouldn't get married. They have they have no issue with pushing aside those who don't believe the same things that they do and just believing that, they shouldn't be included in certain things because God says so. So that, for me, that's a plus for there being no religion. That religion had never taken hold in society. That somehow right from the get-go, we all knew that there was no divine being, that we were just a series of cosmic coincidences that put us here. Would we be better off? I don't know. How many people are better people because of God? That's what I want to know from you guys. What do you think? Society, better off with religion or would have been better off without religion? So to make a long story short, basically, is religion going to be what tends to prolong humanity's existence? Or is it just going to be the cause of its eventual demise? I'm not giving you my opinion simply because I'm asking you this, not rhetorically, genuinely, because I don't know. I've thought about it a lot, and I don't know. I'm not sure if we would be better off as humankind without religion, or if maybe we'd be extinct by now if we didn't have religion. What are your thoughts? And how do you come to those conclusions? Because I'd really like to hear that. And as far as the whole, God and the restraining order thing against me, it's not the only restraining order I got against me. So, whatever.